Hello friends, welcome back. So in this session we will learn Spring Boot configuration. So Spring Boot configuration is done through application.properties file only. We can do this configuration. As we have seen in our last session, in this project, if you see Spring Boot demo, we have created an Spring Data JPA application, and inside that application, if you see, we have created application.properties file. So this application.property file has all these fields. If you see, we have given here configuration regarding your data source, regarding JPA, and regarding Hibernate. All this configuration we have given here. So like that we can give other configuration also. Suppose if we create another project, I am just creating another demo project, Spring Boot starter, and here demo. I am just giving Spring Boot config demo, any name you can give. Type, build type, you can select Maven. Packaging, this time we are selecting var because now we are doing the configuration for web application. If we select jar, it means your application is standalone application, but now we are going to learn for web application also, and we want to see the more configuration currently, because if you see this configuration, that configuration is to demonstrate only about data source, JPA, and Hibernate, but other configurations also we can do. So I will show you that configuration in a web application. So I am selecting here packaging as var. Java version you can select 11, and language that is okay, Java, and group ID you can give com.techhub. Artifact, that is fine, that is okay. Snapshot, this is demo project, and this is com.techhub dot spring demo, spring config demo, CUNFIG demo. That's it, and just click on the next. Here we have to add Spring Web, because we are going to create a web application. So to create a web application we need a servlet related dependency, and if we are developing the web application using Spring, then we need Spring MVC support, Spring controller, and dispatcher servlet, view resolver. So all those files, all those dependencies we need. For that purpose we are just adding Spring Web. So all the web related dependencies it will automatically add, and just click on the next and finish. It will create your project. Okay, so it is starting. It will take some time. It will download some of the dependency, and just wait for it. Okay, so now that is ready, and all the dependencies are downloaded successfully. So now if you see here inside this src main resources folder. Under this src main resources folder, if you see application dot properties are there in the same location. Previously in Spring Boot demo, in the same location application dot properties are there. This time static and this template two more folder came because this is a web application. We will see this later, how to use this one, and what is the use of these and these folders. Okay, but here if you see this application dot property, currently this is empty. If you open, so currently there is no configuration. It's totally an empty file. Inside this one we can specify our configuration. So what type of configuration you can do? So suppose I will just start this application first using Spring Boot app. Okay, it is starting. Yeah, it started, and currently the Tomcat port is 8080. You can see here. So if you open your browser and type here localhost 8080, see, it means your application server is running. Your Tomcat is running on this default port, and currently there is no context path. There is no context path. Tomcat started on port number 8080 with the context path empty. There is no context path because there is no configuration. By default it is starting on 8080 port number and there is no context path. So how we can do that configuration here? If we want to customize this port number and if we want to customize the context path, I don't want to start Tomcat on 8080 port number. I want to start Tomcat on 1234 or any other specific port. How I can do? So I have to provide the configuration in this application dot properties file. So let's see how we can do that one. One configuration is port number. So server dot port 5639, anything you can specify. Server dot, I'm just stopping the previous started server. Okay, it stopped. Okay, so one this configuration we have provided for port number, server dot port. Next one is context path. So server dot servlet dot context path. Just give your favorite context path ABCD. Now we have configured the server port number and servlet context path. Now let's run this application and see. Okay, yeah. So now if you observe the console, now message is saying Tomcat started on port 5639 with the context path. I think context path spelling, so we have missed context path. Okay, I'll just stop this one. Context hyphen path. So this is that key name. key name was different, so it was not starting on the, it was starting on default context path. Okay, so now just start this again, run on Spring Boot app, and you just observe the console. Yes, if you see, it says Tomcat started on port 5639 and with context path is ABCD. So now if you see 5639, if you see the previous your tab, and if you go and refresh, it is saying you cannot do that one, because the port number is 5639. Yes, and here ABCD is the context path, and now application is listening on this one. So like that we can give the configuration. Okay, fine. So this is the one configuration that we can do. Like that we can do another configurations also, like currently the default logging level is which one? Default logging level for your Spring Logger, the default logging level is info, or you can give any other logging level, however you want. So any configuration if you want to give, you can give. And other than that, if you want to configure view resolver, you can specify. We will see that later when we will start Spring MVC using Spring Boot. Okay, and the next one is Spring Boot profile configuration. So what is the default profile? Default profile is application.property. If you see here, this is your default profile. Application property is your default profile. You can change this profile to some other profile. Suppose if I just copy this one and if I paste here, and I will give here application.dev property. So this is your development profile. If you give this copy paste, and if you give here SIT, this is your SIT profile. And if you give here copy and paste UAT, this is your UAT profile, and this is your prod profile. Like that means applications will be tested on different levels. When once application is developed, application will be tested first in SIT environment integration, then in UAT profile. First SIT profile system integration testing will happen, then UAT testing will happen. All the components will be united and that will be tested. After that one, application will be goes to prod. So this is your default profile, application.property. Now I want to change this profile. Suppose in my dev I am starting the server on 1234 on this port number, context path is ABC, but in this SIT environment I am starting the application on 4567, and in UAT environment I am starting this application into 7890, and in production environment the port number is completely different, like that. So now which profile your Spring will use? Default profile is always used this one only. This is your default profile. If you start this one, application will listen 1001. So I'm changing to this one. This is your default profile 1001. But if you see development profile, that is 1234. If you see SIT, that is 4567, UAT, that is 7890, and production is 9632. So which one will be your default profile? Default profile will be application.property. If you run this one, I'm just stopping the previous one and I'm just starting. To start. So it will give this error. You are not able to bind. You are not able to bind to any of the environment. So what we need to do? Just delete this one and add Spring profile actives. Which profile you want to active? I want to active dev. Now it will take dev profile. Just start this one now and you will see that application will be started on 1234 port. Now the following one profile is active. Which one? Dev. And inside dev, if you see, Tomcat started on this port. So it is starting at 8080 only with the default context path, but it is not taking that dev profile. Why? Okay, just we missed something. It should not be dot, it should be hyphen. Application dev, application UAT, application SIT, application prod. Okay, application dot property, application dev property, application prod property, application SIT, UAT. Yeah, that's it. Now this dev will automatically resolved with this application dev property environment. Okay, now just run this one, just observe the console and see on which. Yeah, it is activating this one. Yes, now this time if you see, Tomcat is starting on 1234 port number with the context path. So this is your now 1234 is your context path, correct. Now if you change that profile, I'm just stopping this server and I'm just changing to SIT and I'm just running. Now it will be using your SIT property file. So the profile will be changed now to SIT because application will be developed on multiple different levels. Yes, you can see here. Now application started on port number 4567 with the context path same. You can change the context path also, but that should be remain same, or you can change. It's up to your choice. Okay, I'm just showing how can you configure that one. And just stopping and I'm just changing to UAT environment. You can change to UAT. Just run on server, run on as and here you can see one more thing. We are not configuring external Tomcat server also. Here we are using Spring Boot, and we are not configuring any Tomcat also. Yes, it is used now. It is pointing to UAT environment. You can see the following one profile is active. Which one? UAT. Okay, next one is prod. You can see for prod also. So here if you see, we are not configuring Tomcat server, and Tomcat server is automatically added into your library, into your repository. Embedded Tomcat is automatically used into your Spring Boot application. Automatically your Spring Boot is using embedded Tomcat. You no need to add external Tomcat. But you want to add external, you can add external, and you want to use, you can use. It's up to your choice. Okay, yeah, now this is a prod environment it is using. So like that we can configure the environment also. So what is environment? Config Spring Boot environment defined in a application.property file need to be changed according to the environment in which it is running. Suppose application at first level application is in a development mode, so the profile will be development. After development, application will be moved to SIT environment, so their environment might be changed, might be the database configuration might change. There is a possibility that SIT is pointing to another database, UAT is pointing to another database. Separate databases are there for separate testing environment. So in that case you can configure it in once only, in one place, and you can just by changing one configuration you can point to any of the profile. So it is time consuming job and difficult to keep track of the changes as well. Spring Boot provide a feature called profile, which can be loaded application property according to the environment in which it is running, like development, testing, production. Here I am taking the example of another level, like development, then SIT, system integration testing, then it unit integration testing, UAT, and after that one application will go to prod environment. So this is the configuration. How can you do this configuration for your project? Okay, fine. And here if you see we can do the logging configuration also. Suppose I am changing to this to prod environment, dev environment only, and here inside this main class, if you go to this main class, here just I'm doing nothing, but I want to log some record and I want to use some logger. So Spring Boot giving itself is coming with another logging API. You can use that one, but that is not recommended to use. You always should go for log4j or any other logger APIs are there, so that is a better approach, and that they are giving a better features. So you should use that one. You no need to use the Spring given logging API. Okay, so I will show you how can you configure that Spring logger and how can you see that logging. So first thing, you have to create a logger. So logger you can create in this way. Logger factory. Okay, and this is your logger. Okay, so you need to add this dependency. Fine, so just I'm adding this dependency. I'll add this link in the description of this video. You just take from that one. Go to your pom.xml. Not for this one, for this one, your pom.xml. Okay, and here inside this dependencies, just you add this dependency. Okay, so Spring Boot starter log4j, just you have to add this dependency, it will download. Okay, and now log4j. And you have to exclusion, you have to exclude this also. Spring Boot data JPA. Okay, so this should be taken from org.slf.logger. okay, fine. So now use this logger to log logger. Okay, right, static logger dot info. You just simply log this message, hello, welcome to spring boot application. Simple. Okay, so now no need to give this, you just give this class name simply dot class, that's it. Okay, now just start this one. And environment is dev only, 1 2 3 4 it will start. And if you see, this is the default level info. We are giving level is info and this message is printing on the console. Now what I want to configure this logger that it should log into some separate file. So how I can do that one? For that one we need to just specify these pattern where it should save. Inside is dev environment, if you see. So here it should be a file, path of a file dot log dot app dot log something. It will be saved into this log. I will show you. Currently this path is not there. I will take a path and I will show you on that path. So here we can specify the pattern. This is the file pattern. How your message should be logged. First should be year, then month, then day, then hour, minute, second, like that. And M and N message, and like that. Line number, N stands for line number, M stands for message. So like that, if you want to log, you can log. So just see, currently this is logging in this way. Here hour, minute, second, time, then logging level, and here this is the thread, and from which class file it is from which class it is logging, and what is the message. But now this message this pattern will change. because we have given the login console pattern like that. You see, okay, I think it's already running. Just I'm closing, terminating this one. Okay, see, info, and this is a level. Now first it is coming level, then it is coming T stands for thread, then C stands for class name, M stands for this message. That's it. Now it is printing in some different format. Before the format was different. If I use this pattern, if I remove this one and I use this pattern, and if I run, you will see this will be coming in another pattern. So like that we can configure for unlogging also. So this is now, if you see, it's logging in some different format, different style. First it is taking year, then month, then day, then time, hour, minute, second. That's it. It's not logging that message, and it's not logging for that yes. Okay, if you see here, if I will add this one also, it will log that another parameter like message, thread name all it will print now. See, message, this is your thread name, this is your class name. Yes, it is printing now. It is printing message also. So like that you can configure. So this is the Spring Boot configuration. You can configure the Spring Boot according to your own requirement. You can change the port number, you can change the context path, like that. N number of configuration you can do. You can do the configuration for the data source like database, and you can do the configuration for Hibernate, configuration for JPA, configuration for mailing server. So all type of configuration you can do. You can configure the web dispatcher servlet, web view resolver. So all those you can configure using Spring application.property file. Okay, so in the next session we will see Spring MVC with Spring Boot. So I hope you like this session. Please subscribe my channel and please share your feedbacks through the comment section, and you can put your questions also in your comment section, and we will take out that one. And please subscribe my channel if you are new, and please like and share this session. And thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next session. Till that, bye bye.